Alright, we're alive, I suppose. Let's do something, I don't know, something interesting. So I never actually implemented a text editor before. So maybe we could try doing that. Why not? So let's see how it goes. Text editor. I think it's gonna be a graphical one. Could use SDL for that. Could probably use SDL for that. Hello Chan Hu, hello Latinos Verdes, welcome to the stream. How are you guys doing? Near me, hello. Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? Okay, again. So, I don't even know how I'm gonna call it, so let's call it TE. So it's gonna be main.c and C flags TE main.c. So I don't know if we're gonna link with anything. So if it's gonna be a graphical text editor, so we're definitely gonna link with something, with at least SDL and maybe OpenGL. It just depends on how we're gonna render everything. For now, I'm gonna just probably use SDL. Maybe later we're gonna switch to OpenGL. And of course, we're gonna basically write our own PhD thesis by looking up glyphs in the shader. Of course, we're gonna do that as well. Don't worry about it. So LW extra. So it's gonna be standard. It's gonna be C++11. Then we're gonna do pedantic, and also gonna include the debug information. Hello, Gaduk, welcome. How are you doing? So maybe for now, I'm not gonna do anything in here. So this is gonna be something like this. Right, so, and TE is basically hello world. Alright, let's actually link with SDL and make the usual SDL dummy project. So, I don't quite remember. It's not main, it's rather compile, package config, list all, grab SDL2. Is it SDL2? Okay, it is SDL2. Okay. So package config C flags SDL2 libs package config libs SDL2. There we go. So I'm gonna link here with that, and definitely we'll need the mathematical library at some point in here. That's for sure. That's for freaking sure, mate. All right. So let's do something like this. It's gonna be SDL2, maybe just SDL.h. Yeah, usually when I work with SDL, I create these functions that check for codes and pointers and stuff like that. So basically, SDL check code, right, which accepts the SDL code, and basically panics if that code is negative, because that's the indication of the SDL error. So it's like a usual thing that I do. So printf standard error, and I'm gonna say SDL error, and to get the error, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do it like this, and then here we're gonna exit this entire stuff. And similarly, I have SDL check pointer, which accepts a pointer for the SDL functions that return pointer. Right, and we check if pointer is equal to null. Right, so we do printf SDL error, error, and we just exit with 1. And of course, we're returning that pointer afterwards. Right, we're returning it afterwards. Okay. So this is gonna be SDL init. Maybe I need to look up SDL2 thing. What is SDL init? Okay, so that's the function, right? So SDL init video, I think. right? SDL init video, or maybe it's a video init. Oh no, it's actually init video. Here it is. Here's right there. And I can check the exit code of this entire thing, and at the end we can actually quit the SDL. Alright, so if I try to compile this entire thing, is it compiling? It seems to be compiling, and yeah, it doesn't do anything because it's just like, you know, initialize this SDL and just quits instantaneously. MHSF, hello. SDL create window, so how can we create a window? Create window. Where is it defined? So it's probably defined somewhere here. Let's actually grab this entire thing. Apfeloxid, thank you so much for Twitch Prime subscription. I don't know why. I literally wrote like 2 lines of code so far of this text editor, but thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription, even though I do not deserve it, but thank you so much. Alright, so let me see. I don't know how we're gonna call the text editor. Does anyone have any ideas on how to call the text editor? Put your ideas in the chat. I'm gonna grab some water and I'm gonna be back. Okay, I actually have an idea. How to call my text editor? Right. Maybe how to name my text editor? Another sub from Banana Wave YouTube. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, even though I don't deserve it, but thank you. PMax. Okay. It's US code. Editerminator. That's actually pretty long. So the thing about the editor is that you want the name of the editor to be short, because that's the thing that people are gonna be quite often typing in the terminal. Deep Singularity, hello. Ted. Ted actually sounds pretty interesting. Isn't it already taken? I think it's already taken. Eptiget is so useful, like epti-search, I mean. It's thank you so much, like how is that even a useful search? Holy shit. Okay. So can I install I'm gonna just straight up try to install TED. Okay, TED is not taken. We can try to look up on the internet. So TED editor. It sounds like something that, yeah, it's already taken. So, oh, to be fair, well, what the hell is that? Please open TED file by clicking. Nope, a brand new advanced text editor and free. TED Notepad. Well, I mean, it's a TED Notepad. It's not called TED. So. Word processor, okay. Alright, it already exists. Already taken. It's already taken. It is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. How do you build? Oh, it doesn't even have configure. Okay. I wonder how long it's gonna build. Shouldn't be that big. So it should be short and sweet. I don't like said. Makes it sound like it's said, which is I don't know. It's an sus text editor. It actually sounds okay. Maybe we can call our text editor sus. No. Whatever. So we still cannot come up with a good name. So we're gonna call it text editor for a while. Then we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so this is gonna be 0, 800 by 600, and what's gonna be the flags for this entire thing? All right. So create window, and the flags. So the window has to be resizable, of course, right? The window has to be resizable. SCP. There we go. And the next thing we need to do, we need to create a renderer for this thing. SDL create renderer. So here's the renderer. So we're gonna provide the window and then that, and of course our thing is gonna be hardware accelerated. So it's gonna be a render. So where are the render flags? So this is gonna be accelerated. Yep. Okay, so that created the renderer. So after that, I suppose we need to organize the event loop. It's going to be something like this, and then while not quit, and let's include std boolean for this kind of stuff. SDL event 0 initialize it, while SDL poll event, it's going to be like this, and if we encounter an event that is SDL quit. So by the way, I don't remember for sure, but I roughly remember that switch case in Jai is literally like something like if x equal to something. Is it not? Yeah. I think it's something like this. And then you have just something like 10, or then another one, and so on and so forth. Which is actually very weird, but at the same time, a freaking genius. You know why? Because one of the problems that I encountered, by the way, throughout like programming in different languages is a transition from if to switch. Has anyone encountered that problem? Right. The transition from if to switch, because initially you like write some code and you check for like x to be a particular value, right? And then you realize that you want to check x to be more than one value, right? And you have two options. You can actually append more things in here, right? Or you can transform it into a switch, but to transform it into a switch you have to change it to switch, then like wrap it like that, then remove that, then move this entire thing to like inside of this stuff, and so on and so forth. And it's so painful in all of the languages, especially in Rust, by the way, as it introduces like this if-let, which is basically pattern matching, but with a completely different syntax than match, and transitioning from if-let to match is actually extremely painful. But it's quite often needed. So what syntactically Java does, right, so if you have a condition like this, transition from if to switch is as simple as this. The syntax is weird, but at the same time it's freaking genius. Don't you think? Because it's actually quite often that's something you want to do, right? So you have initially had if, and then you transition to switch, and syntactically it's as simple as just taking that thing, moving it down, here's a switch. It's a switch now, and you can append more values in here, right? There we go. And you can go back by moving it here. You don't really need to modify too many things. This is freaking genius. If you think about it, it looks weird at first, but as Rust developers say, you just have to get used to it. You know, just have to get used to it. The language is not shit, you just have to get used to it. Anyway, so let's continue. It is kind of cool actually, it's actually really well thought out. So, so this is going to be quit, and this is going to be true. So we need to actually clean the screen first, right? In any like event loop, iteration loop, you first clean the thing. Alright, so this is going to be something like SDL2, and I'm going to grep rn. How do I do that? I don't remember. It's something like SDL set cola, right? Set cola. There we go. Set render draw cola. This is the function that I wanted. Not the function that I deserved, but the function I needed. If you know what I'm talking about, chat. Chat, tell me honestly, do you know what I'm talking about? I'm sorry. Alright. So now I need to do clear, right? So some sort of like SDL clear. Clear. Is it render clear? Yeah, it is render clear. So it's gonna be SDL, extern, SCC, and this is gonna be something like this. Alright, so we clear that, and then we need to do present, right? Let's do the grep, present. I'm gonna remove this entire thing. Yep, so that's the thing we need. Boom. Boom. So I think present actually never fails, right? Is it not? Alright, so let's make the color red so we can instantly see that we're doing things correctly. And let's recompile the entire stuff and run the application. There we go, we got a window! 18 minutes into the stream, we already got a window. This is already half of the way into a text editor. Isn't that amazing? I think it's goddamn fucking amazing. Can your web framework do that? So, alright. So what's gonna be the next thing? Cooler. You know it! You know it! Actual cooler. I guess, I don't know. Maybe not. I'm actually not cooler. I'm just an idiot on the internet. So it's not gonna be a terminal editor. What do you think it is? Some sort of disease? Sorry, I already made that joke before. So it doesn't need to be terminal. It's not a disease. Fun. It's not. It's actually not funny. Terminal diseases are not funny. I'm sorry. It's really insensitive of me. I really apologize for saying that. So we need a font. We need a font. You know what I'm talking about. You know what? I'm gonna use the font that I use everywhere. my favorite font, like a bitmap font. Comic Sans, probably. What is the? How is the free Comic Sans is called? FC list, right? So we have FC list, and then if I grab this thing with iComic, right? So where is the comic? So bold, angular. There is a regular one. Okay, so can I just copy this thing here? So now, wait a fucking second. I'm in the wrong window. This is not what I wanted. Okay, so FC list, Comic Sans monospace. Is there a monospace version of it? I have no idea. Okay, I don't see a monospace version, to be fair. Do we have mono? No, there's no monospace version. Well, at least I don't have it. Maybe it does exist somewhere, but I don't really have it. So I'm just thinking, do I want to go into the like a TTF rendering right now, or do I want to just use like a whatever? Sounds like I want to use whatever. Right, so let's actually go with the bitmap font. Let's go with the bitmap font. Domson font again. Domson font again. So I probably need to generate some arrays and shit. Right, so I suppose I'm gonna actually put this thing in the description, right? So just in case. Font again thingy that I'm using. So let's go. Domson font again. Branch. Git fetch from origin. Git merge origin master. Alright. So this thing is written in Rust, by the way, if anyone is interested. Do we have any Rust developers in the chat? Do we have any Rust developers in the chat? Look at that. This is Rust. By the way, I have a question for you guys. What do you think about Rust? Tell me, like honestly, like your actual feeling towards Rust. What do you think about Rust? Tell me. I'm really, really interested. So let's compile this thing. Rust C font again, RS, and it's gonna take some time. And it what the fuck? Oh, this is because I'm supposed to use in Make. Okay. By the way, I'm building a Rust project with Make. Seriously, I'm not even joking. This Rust project is built with Make. Chat, tell me, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about me not using cargo and using Make files? Does it make you mad? Tell me everything. Tell me everything what you think about it. Alright, so let's go. So which font we're gonna be using actually? So it's gonna sharp mob, old school. So I'm gonna be using this one. I kind of like this one. I use it every time in all of my projects, even though it doesn't fit anywhere, but I kind of like it because it's super simple. And I suppose what I need to do, I just need to call font again. Yeah, it's gonna be chart mob, old school white, and that generated a C Rust code. I suppose what I want to generate is actually C code, right? So this is the C code. Yeah, this looks like a C code. Can I? Oh, it's compressed one actually. Okay. All right. So can we do something? Yeah, we can probably do a row. Do not apply any compression to the font. Yeah, let's actually do the raw version of the font. So the raw version of the font is rather big. You see, it's not compressed whatsoever. But it's totally fine because we're not doing embedded or anything like that. By the way, can I just do something like xclip and copy this entire thing into my buffer and just copy paste it into somewhere? So let's put it like this. It's gonna be font, and I think, yeah, okay, I actually can do that. That's actually pretty cool. So here is the font, compressed font. If not defined font.h, alright, so we're gonna define this mother flipper. Right, we're defining this mother flipper, and then it's gonna be and if this is gonna be a font. I'm gonna include this entire stuff into font.h, and we're going to have a very simple array of bytes that we can probably make a texture out of. But I need to know the width and height of this texture. So char map old school. So width and height is 128 by 64. So let's call this thing a font. And this one is going to be something like font width 128, and font height is 64, right? And on top of that we can just say something like font width and font height. There we go. So we have a width and height of the font. So now, is it gonna compile by the way? I have no idea. Seems to be compiling. So we now need to create a texture out of the font. You know what I'm talking about, chat? You know what I'm talking about? So you know in SDL we have textures. Oh, Sermon, hi. How are you doing? Hoi. Hoi, hoi. Create texture. So yeah, this one. So we're gonna provide the render. We'll need to figure out the format, and width and height and so on and so forth. So the question is, how can I figure out the format? I have no idea. So let's just copy paste this code and just put it into my project, right? People always ask me, Zozin, how do you know so many things? Bruh, look. Here's the mouse, right click, copy, boom. You don't need to know anything. It's that easy. See? Like, why do you think you need to even know anything? Just fucking copy paste. And even better so, have you guys heard about GitHub Copilot? Have you guys heard about this shit? You don't even need to do that anymore. You just install this magical piece of software and it just like copy paste code for you. It's like automation of copy pasting. Tell me, chat, what do you think about it? Tell me. What do you think? What's better, GitHub Copilot or Rust? What do you think? Which one is better? And which one is gonna win? That's a very interesting question, actually. Nobody actually thinks about it too much. What is better, Rust or GitHub Copilot? Anyways, so let's continue. We're gonna put a renderer in here, and the question is, how can we generate a format? One of the enumerated values in pixel format enum. Pixel format unknown. Nice format, by the way. Nice format. Index 8. Is there anything like a grayscaled? So I feel like we need to use index 8, but I'm actually not sure. So what the fuck is this shit? Creating OpenGL texture with as a byte per pixel of 1 and all masks of 0. Okay, so maybe that's precisely the format that we have to use. Any alternative to SDL2? OpenGL, I suppose. It depends on what precisely do you need from SDL2. Well, how do you use it? Do you use it as an initializer for OpenGL or Vulkan? Or do you use it as a... I don't even know. Like, a lot of people just use it as a initializer for OpenGL and Vulkan. But it has a capability of rendering like its own things in a cross-platform way, but it's actually super limited. It allows you to only render rectangles, and That's it. I'm not sure, like... these kind of like pieces of software, if you just like look at them, compare them side by side, right? So you have SDL2, RayLeap, GLFL, and OpenGLW. Like, are these things even interchangeable? Okay, GLFL, OpenGL is a graphics API used by all of the three below. First of all, OpenGL is a graphics API that is used by all of the three below. GLFL is simply an OpenGL initializer. That's it. Right. So SDL is a little bit more than just an OpenGL initializer. Just a little bit more. It allows you to fill rectangles and textures in a cross-platform way, but that's it. RayLeap is full-blown game development library and almost a game engine. So is this thing even comparable? Like, how can we even compare these four things? So I would even say RayLeap is basically game engine as a library. That's what it is. And what's interesting is that I think we even like looked into RayLeap at some point. And yeah, it's actually kind of difficult to use OpenGL without GLFW or SDL and stuff like that. So searching daily RayLeap. Yeah, so this one is interesting. It's actually like, this is a second part, but it's actually not really a second part, so you can actually watch it separately. As you can see, it's my brother. It was reviewed by my brother. I'm not running this channel alone, okay? So it's actually, there's several of us in there. Alright, so... let me see, it's gonna be description. Okay. RayLeap stream. So we even looked into it, and yeah, I think there's even source code somewhere. Using brothers for producing the content, if you know what I'm talking about. RayLeap. Pew Pew 3D. The game that I wrote in RayLeap in one stream is literally called Pew Pew 3D. I've no idea why is it called like that, but yes, it's a Pew Pew 3D. I'm gonna put it in the description if you're interested in this kind of kinky shit. Alright, I didn't really want to do that, but I did it anyway. So, okay, so this is the text editor, and I can go into Pew Pew. I didn't even have it anymore in here. Is it in prob? Pew Pew, yeah, it is in here. It is still in here. And apparently it is, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a gay corridor, that's what it is. Thank you for raiding, Mr. Halsey. Welcome to the gay corridor game. So, yeah. So that's basically what you can do with this library. Yeah, so... Is this a text editor? Yes, it's a text editor. It's a really innovative way of editing the text. Shooting cubes. Yes. Kawaii fucking this. Alright, so yeah. So I'm gonna keep all of that in the description. Coming in the cake craft. So yeah. Anyway. So this is the stuff. Access, what we're gonna have in the access? Access, texture access, alright. Static, changes rarely not lockable. Okay, so we're just gonna make it static. So width and height is going to be font width and font height. There we go. So this one is going to be texture, and this one is going to be SCP. And SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. Yeah, that's what it stands for. It actually stands for SDL check pointer. Alright, so let's see if we manage to even compile this entire shit. Yeah, we managed to compile it. Can we run it? Can we run it? And palletized textures are not supported. The fuck? So that means I chose a wrong format. How can I choose a better format? Because this shit is kind of sus, not gonna lie. Because I have 1 byte per pixel, but the only things I can have in here are like 8 bytes per pixel or something like that. I don't freaking know. So is there any way I can do something about that? So RGB 444. So one thing I can see is basically expand my my image into like 32-bit format or something like that. We can try to Google that. SDL 1 byte 1 byte texture, right? Create texture, update UV texture, pixel format. Maybe we can create our own pixel format, I suppose. Oh, wait a second. Oh shit, I'm an idiot. First you have to create the surface, not the texture. Oh my god. Oh my god. Coppercasted, thank you so much for 22 months of Tier 1 subscription. Almost 2 years, by the way. Almost 2 years. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Holy shit, why the fuck do we have 230 viewers? Well, thank you everyone for watching the game of a gay corridor. Is that why you're watching? Right? Is that why you're watching? Is that entertaining? Okay, cool. All right, so we need to create a surface first. Yes. SDL create surface. We need to create RGB surface. Depths. Right. G mask, B mask, and so on and so forth. Create RGB surface. I suppose from. We need to use from. Yes. So pixels. Pitch is this stuff. The depth of surface in bits. What I'm thinking is that I think we can just set all of them to 255, and yeah, that's gonna be the way it goes. Alien PLS, is it Alien PLS? All right, so first thing we need to create the surface. Right, SCP. So font is actually a big one. Font width, font height. So depth is gonna be what? 8 bits, and the pitch, as far as I know, is in bytes. Okay, so that means it has to be font width, and it's already in bytes, so we don't have to do anything about that. So this one is going to be 0xFF, and I think that should be enough. I think that will create the texture appropriately. We'll see about that. So are you ready? we need to compile this entire thing. So it's gonna be something like this. So font, Python argument discards const. Oh shit. Why? Wait a second. Oh, why the hell does it accept void and wants to modify it? Why? The function pairs mostly... Excuse me, why the fuck this function wants to modify this buffer? Like, because I'm just creating... Can you just copy this shit into your own buffer and modify it there? This is rude in my opinion. If the function modifies my buffer, it's kinda sus, not gonna lie, what do you guys think? Isn't it sus? Copying, I mean, what's wrong with copying though? I mean, it's not that slow if you do it once per lifetime of the application, right? So I want to copy it once before doing the main loop, right? And I'm not copying anything in the main loop, right? So should be fine. Should be totally fine. So, you know, we're gonna look into the source code of SDL. So let me quickly do that. It's gonna be third party. Do we have a source code for SDL? I don't see the source code for SDL. What the hell? Let me quickly find type directory, and name is going to be actually iname SDL. May contain SDL, and the max depth is going to be 1, right? So, and we're going to be slowly increasing the depth, slowly getting deeper and deeper, right? Slowly. Now depth is going to be 3, going deeper and deeper. And apparently we don't have a source code for SDL. Yes, we don't have a source code for SDL. We'll have to download this shit. Okay, let's go ahead and download the SDL source code. So there's a bunch of releases in here, and now we're just gonna grab this thing. Third-party dependency. Yeah, but SDL is like a third-party thing, and I don't know. Scuffed beef. Well, basically, yeah. The problem with find is that it's actually doing DFS, and sometimes it is very slow, especially if the folder that I'm trying to find is like next level, right? And it's just like constantly missing what I'm trying to find. So I'm doing this scuffed DFS. So this is the best way to describe it. Like, holy fuck. Yeah, so this is a scuffed DFS. I have a source code for GCC. What the fuck? I don't need GCC in my life. Go away, GCC. Nobody wants you. It's recursively deleting GCC. That's how much time it takes. Okay. Can you just not do that? I mean, like, just come on. Can't you just do something like this? And yeah, it's removing GCC recursively. That's holy shit. It probably has a lot of small files. That's probably what's going on. Slow hard drive probably, or maybe GCC just generated shit ton of shit. Slow tape. Oh yeah, it's finished. Look at that. Finished. Did it actually free? Nah, it wasn't even that big. It wasn't even that big. Okay, it came to the completion. Alright. So what I was trying to do, does anyone remember? I was trying to find this function. Okay. We have src. Okay, let's go ahead and find this mother flipper. Where is the definition for this function? So here it is. It uses pixels, right? So, and it sets the pixel. I see. You see what's going on? It takes my pixels and it simply moves them into the surface. It literally moves them. It performs what we call in industry a move semantic move. Yes, it's a move semantic. But unfortunately in C there's no move semantic, so we never know that it was actually moved. Yeah, it actually performed std move. Yeah, std move. If I programmed in Rust, by the way, what do you guys think about Rust? Have you guys heard about this language? Have you already rewritten everything in that language? So if we used Rust would actually warn us about this kind of thing, but we're not using Rust, unfortunately. Okay, so yeah, I guess I can just make it modifiable. Why not? Why not? I don't mind this thing to be modifiable. Sure, it's my memory. It is my memory. I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. Okay, so I have unused surface. Now if I try to run this editor, unknown pixel format. Cool. This is rather sus. This is rather sus. Why is this unknown format? Why? What if I put something like 32 in here? Would you be happy with this format? Would you be happy with this format? No, it's still not happy with this format. So where is it failing, by the way? Where is it failing? Oh, I've got an epic idea. I can turn these things into macros. At least I can try. No, I cannot do that. You have some mask Pepe the newbie. Yeah, sure, but I mean, I have a monochrome image and shit. So it uses STBI, by the way. I just don't want to do... Okay, so I guess we're doing STBI. Sure. Because it's taking too much. Let's hoping that maybe I can just create that thing, but I cannot. So let's do STB image. So this is going to be the row thing, and yep, that we get. We're gonna do that, and I'm gonna simply, yeah, let's just remove this stuff. It's not needed anymore. stb image.h autocomplete, pepega autocomplete. Oh, you mean, okay, I see what you mean. Got you. STBI load. So that's basically what we need to load in here. So what I'm thinking is that maybe we can actually create something like surface from file, right? And we can provide the file path, right? So and this thing is going to return SDL surface, right? So there we have an SDL surface. So maybe there's also some example that we can download or like copy paste from here. Yeah, I think we can try to use that. So this is going to be something like this. Int x, y, n, and this one is actually pixels. I don't really like to call it x and y. I think it's more of a width and height, if you know what I'm talking about. So this is width, this is height, and I want to have 4 components in here. In that example in here, so required format is not even specified, STBI RGB alpha. Oh, STB has like predefined constants for formats and shit. I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool. Wait a second. Yeah, oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. All right. I like that. I actually like that. So yeah, RGB alpha, because it's a little bit more descriptive. So at least it shows the intent. You know what I'm talking about, right? So the number 4, number 15 doesn't show the intent, right? But this specific constant actually shows the intent, and it makes the code readable. And it's all about readability, right? We're not writing codes for computers. right? We're writing codes for other humans to read. Computers don't understand the code. They need the code to be processed into native assembly to execute. They don't give a shit about naming and stuff like that, right? So it's all about readability. Readability is the most important thing, right? And we prefer the code that shows the intent rather than just some stupid numbers. If you think about it, like shit like GitHub Copilot is basically machines writing codes for other machines in a form that is readable for humans. Have you thought about it? Like, think about it. Machine writing code to another machine in a form that is readable for humans, but not readable for machines. There's so much redundancy involved in here. Why not just make a program that writes programs for other machines in assembly in native code directly? Why even involve humans in here? You see what I'm talking about? Like, why? It's so redundant. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it would be better if it was just generating the binary directly, but it doesn't. Anyways, so we also need to check. STBI even has a failure reason. Holy shit. I'm actually learning about STBI from this thing. Okay, so what does it return? Oh my god. This is so cool. I didn't know that it has a failure reason. What is a failure reason? What is it usually set to? My god. Alright, so maybe we can do some. And also there's a SDL log. Not a volleyball subscribed with Twitch Prime for 13 months. My god, thank you so much for more than a year of Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And welcome to our epic GitHub Copilot Club. That's right. So what the fuck is the SDL log though? Oh yeah, SDL has a login. Speaking of, right, what's the level of the library of the SDL library? It has a logging system. Anyway. So, but we're not going to be using that. If pixels equal to null, right? If pixels equal to null, what we're going to be doing in here, we're going to be fprintf std error, right? So this is going to be something like error. Could not load file s because of another s, right? So this is going to be file path, right? File path. File path. So, and what's going to be the reason? The reason is STBI failure reason. Okay. STBI failure reason s. Gotcha hyper. Useful. So here's the reason, and depending on the order of these things, yeah, I guess we want to do something like this as well, right? So I'm just going to be copy pasting code. Your required format is that, otherwise, but the required format is actually alpha. What the why do I have this code? This is so weird. This thing is just being weird, I think. So we know for sure that we do have an alpha in there, and that's why pitch is going to be just that. You see, I'm just copy pasting code from the internet. I don't need to know shit. And then we're creating this stuff, right? Just creating this stuff, and we're going to be returning it from here. But before we can return it, we also have to check that it's a correct thing to return even. So this is width and height. So this is going to be pixels. This is going to be width. This is going to be height. And everything's going to be all right, if you know what I'm talking about. Yep. So here we actually revert this kind of stuff. We don't really need to. So if it's equal to that, yeah, this is dumb. We're not having a different format in here, right? So the required format is that specifically. Yeah, what the fuck is this code? Like, why? Like, yeah, holy shit. This is actually funny. Look at that. Yeah, if the NDN says that, we're gonna do that. Otherwise, we're gonna do that. This is actually pretty cool. I really like that. To be fair, on top of that, we could have actually done u int 32, right? U int 32, and because of that, we can make it const, right? We can make it const, and this one is gonna be const u int 32. There we go. Because we don't need reassignment of this stuff, and then we can make it const here as well. There we go. There's no need to make it like non-constant or anything like that. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, chat? Yes, 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 that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, yes. Alright, so let's try to compile this entire stuff. Is it gonna compile? Is it gonna compile? It doesn't even compile because of STB. It's a classical STB stuff. Conflicting the qualifier. Excuse me? Why is this conflicting? Oh, because I actually defined this stuff in here. Okay, thank you very much. Width undeclared. Okay, so alright, so maybe I should actually call this thing width and height. Width and height. W. No, U. Double me and double you. So it's gonna be width, this is gonna be height. Uvu. Double uvu. So, and we don't have to do that shit anymore, it doesn't exist. Finally, I managed to make this shit compile. Holy shit, that was hard. You know what else is hard? Oh. So, let's actually fix some of the warnings in STBI. So I think this one can be int quite easily, and this one being unused. I think I remember that one. So it's basically in reallocation, STBI reallocation of our nation. So where's the implementation? Yeah. I think sized, yeah, so here's the size. So alt size is actually not used, so you have to do something like this. So every time I use STBI, I have to fix STB image like that, because contributions to these libraries are not accepted anymore. That was actually fixed a long time ago, but yeah, Sean doesn't look into the contributions anymore. I mean, it's fair enough. He actually distributes these libraries for free for everyone, so I have zero complaints about that, seriously, because the ratio between the price of this library and the quality is fucking insane. It's the best ratio that you can find in the market, seriously. Absolutely free, public domain, and so easy to use. You can just slap it into your project. It's just fucking amazing. So just because it has a little bit of warnings that I have to fix all the time, it's just like, whatever. Okay. I'm gonna sneeze, by the way. Debated. Debated. Alright, so okay, so we created the surface. I need to create a texture from the surface. SDL texture from surface. Right. Texture from surface. Okay, how do I copy paste? I'm trying to copy paste this thing. Alright, so we're gonna be doing it like that. So this is the... I never actually run it, so I should probably run this entire thing. So it's gonna be surface from a file. Right, so I'm gonna put it in here. Font surface. Right, so this is gonna be font surface. In the file path, we don't even have it in the file path, so let me actually go to font again. And I'm gonna be just copy pasting it in here. Right, just copy pasting it in here. And let's put it like that. Let's put it like that. Alright. Okay, let's go and try to recompile this entire thing, and it successfully loaded. Okay, I'm super happy. It actually successfully loaded everything. So yeah, now we need to create the texture. So this is going to be font texture. We're going to provide the renderer, and the surface, right? So, and we need to check if this entire thing actually returned everything appropriately. No, it didn't, because it has to be font texture, and it seems to be working. All right. We managed to load the sprite sheet, right? We managed to turn it into SDL surface, and we managed to turn SDL surface into SDL texture, which means that we can slap that texture onto the window, right? Let's try to slap it onto the window. I think it's something like SDL render copy, right? So it's the SDL render copy. So that's precisely how you do this shit. So we provide the renderer, then we provide the font texture, and we need to provide the SDL rectangle. Okay, so let's actually call it something like font rect, right? And it's going to be something like that. And of course, we want to check the exit code, right? So SDL rect is going to be font rect, and this one is going to be x0, and then y is going to be 0, w is going to be oh man, this one is actually very interesting. So I know that it's 128, but what if it's something going to be different? So we need to extract the size of this thing. Oh, we already have the size in the surface, don't we? So if I go into user include SDL2, and I'm gonna grep for this thing in there, you know, grep it like it's hot, grep it like it's, yikes, I'm sorry. So it's gonna be W and H, and you can just grab that shit from there, right? So that means I can do font surface W, then font surface H, and there we go. Now I know precisely the size of all of that shit. Let's try to do it like that. And is it gonna be working? Is it gonna be twerking? Boom! First try. Look at that. Look at that. We managed to render that sprite sheet. Isn't that amazing? I think it's goddamn fucking amazing. Holy fucking shit. Subscribe if you are excited. If you are as excited as I am. Alright, so let me see what we have in here. So maybe we want to make it a little bit bigger. Alright, so this is a font rect and SDL rect, maybe it's called output rect. It's gonna be something like x0 w, and then font rect w, but multiplied by 5 probably, and then something like h, also something like that. So we're gonna have something like output rect, and fuck. Why are you not working? Why are you not working? Epic. Fucking epic, mate. Fucking epic. Alright, so now we need to actually be able to render the text, you know what I'm talking about? So I implemented that kind of stuff multiple times already, so I think the easiest way would be to just have a function. Render text, right? So it's going to be simply render text, and it accepts the text that you want to render, right? And probably the position where you want to render it, right? So it's going to be int x and int y, and also some sort of like a scaling, Creamesis subscribed at tier 1. Thank you so much for tier 1 subscription. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So I think we need to actually implement a mathematical vector library. You know what I'm talking about? Because we're gonna be doing like a lot of geometry, a lot of linear algebra and shit like that. And we need a pretty strong library to do this kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about? I suppose it would be good. Stop exposing me! I come out. You're exposing all of my plans. Okay, so God damn it. To be fair, at this point, any of my projects is immediate UI experiment at this point. All right. So I don't know. Just a second. I need to actually grab some water. In the meantime, what do you guys think about immediate UI? Has anyone actually used this thing? What do you think about I'm GUI? Okay. Fuck. I didn't have any water filters. I'm good. Does it have a JavaScript server? Of course, it does. Grabbing under influence. Huh. Very interesting. It's not cute. But you're cute. If you know what I'm talking about. So I need to wait until my water actually finished filtering. So yeah, let's actually implement like a quick vector library. So this is going to be la.h if not defined, la.h we're going to define, then and if so and struct. We're gonna have something like vector2 f, I suppose, and we're gonna have float x and y, and I just need to implement like a bunch of vector operation in here. So I suppose first thing I want to be able to do, I want to be able to create vector2f, right? Vector2, let's call it f, float y, and I also want to be able to create it from a single value, right? So essentially it's gonna copy that value into x and y. So, and then we're gonna do something like vec2f add to a, vec2f b. So add sub mul div. Do we need anything else? Add sub multiply divide. Maybe also length, but for now I think it's gonna be fine. So that should be enough. Right, and let's just go ahead and implement all of them. So I'm gonna just be including this thing in here, right? So this one is gonna be essentially vec2f, x equal to x, y equal to y. Will this tag data get Lexia parser for smart annotation and syntax highlighting? We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. The winner gets T, that's for sure. Alright, so, and in here is gonna work like this, so, okay. So we're gonna use a little bit of Emacs magic, I suppose. Right, so it's gonna be like that, boom. Oh shit, it didn't work. Emacs magic didn't work. Like this, and then we're gonna return vector2f a x plus a bx a y plus by, boom. And just we just need to go through all of these places like this, and for sub replace plus with minus, right? So it's gonna be like this. Multiplication with that, and division with just that. Would you look at that? Isn't that amazing? I think, what the fuck is this shit? All right, so, and that's how quickly we implemented all that. That's how quickly we implemented all of that. So now we can operate on the level of like vectors and whatnot. That would be amazing. I think that would be amazing. So Render text. So we're gonna provide the SDL renderer, and so we're gonna provide the position at which you want to render the text, right? Also, maybe you want to provide the color, but I'm not sure how to provide the color. What's the best way to provide the color? Maybe we're gonna provide the color as uint 32. So this is gonna be the color. And also we need to provide the scale, right? So basically how to scale the text. So it's going to be full scale. On top of that, we probably also need to provide the texture, right? So the font texture. So this is basically what we're going to have in here. So here are all of the things that we want to provide. Which dot? It's a designated initializers, by the way. Designated initializers. I think it's designated in its. Yeah, there we go. So if you have a structure like this, you can actually initialize the structure like that, specifying which field with equal to what. So you can do it like that, relying on the order of the fields, or out of order with like specifying names and stuff like that. So it's a designated initializers. Yep. So it's actually pretty convenient. As far as I know, C++17 cannot do them. They existed in C for quite some time already, but it's C++99 or C99 or C90 or something. I think it's C99. So in C++, they appeared only in C++20, like in a recent standard, which is kind of a shame. It took the C++ standardization committee 20 years to figure out how to do this. Imagine spending 20 years to figure out how to do that. Yikes. Freaking yikes. Anyway, minus 20. Yeah. I wasn't even programming when C had that feature. Imagine that. I wasn't even programming at the time. So I'm gonna just grab some water and I'm gonna be back. Fucking coming. I came. Alright, so how's it going, everyone? Are we good? Are we Gucci? Are we Tamaguchi? Is it really 20 years? I can't believe that, actually. Wait a second. So, requires elements of initializers to appear in a fixed order the same, or in a, you can give the element any order specified indices structures. I think it's C90. Well, I mean, yeah, it is 20 years. It's like 21 years. What the fuck? Really, it took them that much time. No, don't want to think about it. All right, so I suppose we're gonna start with a single function that can render a character at a particular position, right? So it's gonna be something like SDL renderer, renderer SDL texture font 32F position, and actually wait. So here we have to actually provide the text with which we will render. He has 16 and 15 in the same time. 50, I mean, I don't speak English, I'm sorry. Hello, Hemiko, welcome to the stream, how are you doing? So this is a position, and this is a character, so... Maybe I'm gonna put a character somewhere here. So this is the character, this is the position. Then you insert it to color, and then we're gonna have a scale. There we go. I'm gonna have a scale. Coding in C/C++ while streaming, all programmers' wet dream, at least mine is. Well, I mean, C and C++ is pretty cool. But what about Rust? Imagine actually like streaming and programming in Rust at the same time. Holy fucking shit, that would be amazing. Wouldn't it be? I think it would. Alright, so I wanna take this thing. So what is the ASCII? Right, so where is the first thing in ASCII? So it's gonna be space. So we need to do -32. So this one is gonna be wrong website for that. Believe me, considering the recent metas on Twitch, this is the right website for that. Trust me. This is the right website for that. I remember saying that if I ever gonna be banned on Twitch, right, I'm gonna do a stream on Chatterbait. Considering the current trends, I don't even need to stream on Chatterbait. I just continue doing what I'm doing, and eventually I'm gonna do a stream on the Chatterbait. Because Twitch is slowly turning into a fucking Chatterbait anyway, so cheers. I don't even need to switch the platform. The Naked Coda. To be fair, I'm not in the best shape for that, so yeah. Banned for a save program. Fucking dead. Anyway. So I need to figure out the rows and columns, right? So we need to figure out the rows and column. So this is going to be the column, like that, and then this is going to be the row. But unfortunately, we don't really know what's the font, rows, and columns, right? So let's define them: font, rows, and font columns. I keep forgetting them, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so we have seven rows, and I think we have 18 columns, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by 3 is 18, if I remember correctly, right? So it's right? Is it? It's 18. Okay, thank you so much. I think I still remember how to do arithmetics. I'm a programmer, not mathematician. Don't make fun of me, okay? Don't make fun of me, please. Please, don't make fun of me. I'm stupid like that, I realize that. Anyway, so here's the index, and what I need to do in here to figure out the column, I just need to do a mod on the font row, font columns, right? So this is what I need to do in here. And to figure out the row, I just need to define it, divide it like that. There we go. Next up, hot tub coding. Yes. Hot tub coding. Right. Font width. I wonder if anyone actually unironically programs on Chatterbait. That would be interesting, actually. Maybe I'm gonna be the first one. Who knows? 64. Tab coding. Yeah. Okay, so let's figure out the rest of the stuff. So this is going to be font character width. Alright, so that means I take the font width and I divide it by font columns. Right. Maybe it's against TOS. Which TOS? Against Chatterbait TOS? I don't know, as far as I know, like on Chatterbait, it's allowed to pretty much stream anything, except like illegal things. But they don't really have specific guidelines on what to stream. You don't, okay, so here's the thing. About the porn, right. You don't even need to say that you're allowed to stream porn and nothing else. You just basically form your guidelines so the porn is allowed, and you're gonna end up with everyone streaming porn anyway, because if you try to stream anything else, it's gonna be outshadowed by the porn. You don't even need to tell people explicitly to not do anything else, because nobody won't be able to even do anything else except porn. You see what I'm talking about? You just need to allow it, and that will create an environment where you don't even need to forbid anything else. It's just like, you don't need to do that. Because anyone who's doing anything else is not going to survive. But despite that, maybe somebody's doing something else on Chatterbait as a joke. See what I'm talking about? Alright, anyway. So font char width and... Alright, so here we have that. We don't even have that, so I need to include... Yeah, it's a very philosophical question, right? So... Technically, you don't need to forbid on a porn website to post anything but porn. Because if porn is allowed, nobody's gonna bother to post anything else anyway, so... Why bother? Why bother? And because of that, on platforms like Pornhub, people post videos that are banned on other platforms, right? Like YouTube or something like that. Because of political reasons or something else. Because the platform does not forbid that. Alright, so here we figure out columns and rows, and I suppose we need to actually start preparing the stuff. Right, so still render copy. Today is amazing stream. Coding while talking about Pornhub and Chatterbait. Well, I did mark my stream as a mature audience content, okay? So don't blame me, right? You clicked on this stream yourself. Don't blame me, okay? I warned you. Right. If you didn't expect that, well, you should have actually read the warning, you know, sent by Twitch. Right. If the stream marked as a mature audience, the first time you join the stream, the Twitch will actually tell you this is a mature audience content, do you really want to watch it? And yeah, so you clicked yes, so that means you're okay with everything I said here. Can you show progress so far? This is a very intimate question, but sure. Is that a good progress? Right, it's pretty good progress. We can hear you stroking your keyboard, by the way. Well, I'm pretty convinced the only reason why people watch me is because of my keyboard. Like I already said that multiple times. This is a Topra keyboard, happy hacking keyboard, and it actually produces pretty pleasant sound. And I'm actually scared that one day this keyboard will die, and I have to switch it to something else. And after I switch it, I will realize that nobody's watching me at all, and I have like you know, less than 100 viewers, and holy shit, everyone was watching me because of the keyboard. That might happen actually. Anyway, so let's continue. So we're gonna have SDL Rect, so this is gonna be Rect. And this is going to be X. Keyboard ASMR. Yeah, precisely. This is a keyboard ASMR. So this is a column multiplied by font character width. This is going to be a row. This is going to be height. And after that, we're going to do something like this. Height. So this is basically the source. We can call it SRC. So this is going to be SRC. And so what's going to be the DST? DST is actually a very interesting question. Still Rect DST. So the location is going to be, the location is here. Okay, that makes sense. So I take the position, x of the position, and then I go to florf, right? So, and I need to convert it to integer essentially, right? So, and here we need to do font character width, and this one is going to be font character height. Florf studying. Thank you so much. Thank you for florfing me. This is something that I really needed today. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right, so, and I guess that's it. We also need to probably multiply this entire stuff by the scale, right? And because of that, we'll need to florf this thing one more time. Right, so, any florfers in the chat? Any florfers? Cool. So that should be it. I think this is how you render a single character. I guess. Interestingly enough, by the way, I implemented. All right. I'm really sorry. Okay. I hope it wasn't too loud. Fuck. I'm really sorry. Just a second. I'm really sorry. So we'll see how many viewers will actually lose because of that. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Yeah. I'm really sorry. I didn't do that intentionally. Got flirted. Yeah. Creepypasta scream sound effect. Yeah. I need a better microphone stand, to be fair. Somebody got too excited. Yeah, I implemented this thing multiple times, but then it never occurred to me that I could actually cache SRC. You know what I'm talking about? You can actually cache this shit. Like, you don't have to do that. And then you can basically look up. Yeah, that's way faster. But we can do that a little bit later. This is kind of shit that could be actually cached at compile time if the language was decent, right? If the language allowed this thing to be executed at compile time, but unfortunately in C you cannot do that. So, all right, so in here, let's actually try to render a specific text. We're going to be iterating, so it's going to be size t and strlen. This is going to be the text, and for size ti less than I, and so this is going to be the renderer. Then we provide the font, then we provide the text I, and the position is going to be slightly different. So it's going to be the original position. Though with the position, right, so we can call it something like this. So this is going to be a pen, which starts like around in here, right? So it's going to be pen. The color is going to be that color, and the color, the scale is going to be that. All right. After we render this thing, I just move the pen x by character font character width multiplied by the scale, right? So and then we move the pen. That should be it, effectively. That should be effectively it. And let's see if this entire thing compiles. Well, yeah, I didn't try to compile it properly. All right, so this is the color. Color is unused for some reason. Okay, so that's fair enough. So to use the color, I need to set the texture mode, I think. All right, so SDL texture mode. Yeah, set texture mode. OpenGL is pain in the ass. It's not as much of a pain in the ass as, for instance, Vulkan, maybe. But it's fine. Depends on the level of control you want to have in your application, right? So so the core is just uint, and I suppose I'm gonna do it like that. I will need to shift 2 bytes, right? So it's gonna be 8 multiplied by 2, and then I will have to do something like f. There we go. So this is SCC, SCC. It's gonna be something like that. Need to copy paste this kind of stuff. This is gonna be 1. This is gonna be 0. Hopefully that will work. So yep. Do we use the color now? We seem to be using color now. Conflicting types. Oh, this is because this thing has to be called character, right? So, and yeah, so this has to be called a character. Okay, finally, and what we can do in here is essentially try to render hello world, right? So let's try to render hello world like this. So we have a font. This one is going to be hello world. What's going to be the position? Is going to be back to f. Let's put it at 0, right? At 0, 0. The color is going to be let's make it red, and the scale is going to be around 5. Right? Hopefully that will render the text somewhere there. So font, it has to be font texture. Okay, so let's put it like that. And font Rect is never used. Well, why do you need to use that shit? Don't use it then. Oh yeah, now I need to actually link la.c. Yeah, la.c. Is it called LA? It's a Los Angeles library. That's what it is. It stands for linear algebra. It's not Los Angeles. There we go. It's actually blue for some reason. It's very strange, but very, very strange. Why is it blue? Because I fucked it up. That's why. FF, then this stuff. Okay, so render text, and then we render the character. So I suppose it has to be maybe like this. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I think it has to be like this. I had chemistry. Thank you so much for Twitch Prime subscription. Ah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Now we're talking. Now it is red. Right. Beautiful. We might as well also utilize the alpha, right? So even if I set the alpha to something else, we are not setting it properly. So I think to use the alpha, you need to set texture alpha mode, right? So there's a separate function for that. Alpha mode. Maybe it's RGB and not RGB. Well, I mean, it is whatever I want it to be, right? Because I set the value in here, right? And then I parse it in a different place. So the sender and receiver is me. So it doesn't really matter if it's RGBA or ABGR, it's just like whatever I decided to be. It's just like I need to properly parse it then on the other end. So let me see. So it's gonna be that stuff and SCC. So this is gonna be the alpha, and the alpha is going to be the third one. This one. Imagine being the sender and the receiver. It is a high privilege, not gonna lie. Okay, so what I wanted to do, by the way, so we recompute this rectangle every time we render a character. But as I already said, it never occurred to me that I could have freaking cache this shit. You know what I'm talking about? We could have freaking cached this shit. Talking to himself like a madman. Are you talking about me? Am I not streaming? Am I going crazy? Am I imagining that I'm streaming and having 250 viewers? Did they go that insane already? Maybe. Shit. Okay. Can you suggest the text rendering technology that Sublime Text author used? Suggest? I have no idea what they used, so I guess the answer is no, I cannot, because I don't know. Streaming simulator. Yeah, maybe I went completely fucking insane and imagining all that. Maybe that's what happened. So interestingly, where are we gonna store that table? Where are we gonna store? So maybe it would be actually kind of nice to, you know, to introduce some sort of a structure. Let's call it font. Right, so it's gonna be SDL texture, texture. Right, so this is the sprite sheet. Might as well call it actually sprite sheet. Right, so this is a sprite sheet, and then we're gonna have the glyph table. Right. So, and how many glyphs do we want to have in here? Sender and receiver. Sender and receiver. So the size of the table is going to be the amount of displayable characters, right? Man, I wish this was like a Pascal where I could specify that the boundaries of this array is something like this, and then I wouldn't have to worry about offsetting everything and stuff like that. It would be so goddamn cool. But I just like, yeah, it's C. I cannot do this kind of stuff, so it is what it is. Can I at least do something like 127 minus 32? So where is my ASCII? So yeah, it's 127 minus 32, and that's the essential glyph table. We might as well actually do something like ASCII display low. Right, ASCII display low is 32. ASCII display high. High is actually 126, so that means if we want to do something like ASCII display low, high minus ASCII display low, right? Right. We'll have to add 1 in here. And the reason why I want to have something like this is because when I'm going to be looking up the glyphs and shit, I will have to offset it by low, essentially, right? So I can take C, right, so I'm taking C, I'm offsetting it by ASCII display low, right, and here's the index, and then I can use that index in a glyph table, right, and just compute everything. But we need to initialize this entire thing. All of Unicode. So yeah, for now, this entire thing is not going to support Unicode, but we only started. We started developing this thing 1.5 of an hour ago, so don't have too high of an expectation of what we can have in here. Do you specifically study English for these streams, or did it while you studied streaming? I worked in outsource for like a couple of 2 to 3 years or so, and I needed English to actually speak with customers. So it is what it is. So I think we need some sort of a function that creates a font from a particular file, right? Font load from file, and we're going to be actually doing something like this. We're going to provide a file path, right? And we're going to have a font in here. So initially it's going to be like 0. So, and font sprite sheet, right? Font sprite sheet. I think it's going to use one of these, like load, font load font texture. Okay, so I need to, yeah, surface. Yeah, I will need to do all of this shit, right? So, font load from file. Get font load from file. So this is the font surface. We load in the surface from the file path, right? So this is the file path. And then we're assigning the texture to the font sprite sheet, right? So this is the sprite sheet that we want to do in here. What's funny is that after that, the surface is not really needed anymore. And as far as I know, we can just free the surface, right? SDL free surface. I wonder if freeing the surface also frees the underlying buffer. It is actually very interesting. So, you know what? I have an idea. What if I go to the source code and just check? Right, so we do have a source code. We can always just go and check this kind of stuff. So this is going to be grep SDL free surface, right? So where is it defined? Decal. I don't know where is it defined. So here. Oh, it's a macro. Look at that. So it's a macro to SDL surface real. Okay, that's very interesting. So what about the real one? Yeah, there's only one real one, which is kind of weird, but maybe I missed something. Maybe I missed some other things. So this is the dynamic proc. I didn't see any definitions. You know what I'm talking about? There's this thing, dynamic proc. Maybe that's what we're looking for, but not really. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. So let's actually look for it somewhere here. Okay, so there's more things. Oh yeah, found it. Oh, it's an includes, but this is only declaration. Decal spec. Alright, whatever. I'm not gonna even bother to do that. So that's totally fine. SDL free surface, right? So free surface font, there we go. So we loaded everything up and we free the surface. Though free surface doesn't even accept anything in here, so maybe it doesn't even do anything. Is free surface even real? Well, it is real because it redirects to a free surface real. Okay, but maybe they're trying to debate us. Maybe they're trying to convince that it's real, but in reality it is not real. Shit, what if it's not real? Fuck. Anyway, so let's actually pre-calculate everything. So we're gonna be doing something like for size t ASCII, ASCII display low, ASCII, it's actually ASCII display high, and this is where we're going to be pre-computing all of these things. So I think I need to copy paste this stuff in here because this is definitely super pre-computable, so ASCII minus ASCII display low, right, and then from that index we should be able. Did I remove row? I'm an idiot. I'm straight up removed it, so it's kind of dumb, but yeah. Size t. So column, right? Column is essentially taking the index and doing mod font calls, right? Font calls, and then we're gonna have a row. Rows. There we go. So, and in here we're pre-computing the glyphs, right? So this one is going to be font glyph table for the index in here. There we go. So that should be it actually. That should be it. So, and after that we're going to be returning font. Font, and because of that we don't have to do this kind of shit anymore, right? So you can just use the index and maybe even move it somewhere here. So you figure out the DST, so here's your DST, but SRC is effectively, so this one has to be a font, I suppose, right? So it's going to be pointed to a font. Render copy, font sprite sheet, right, so this is a font sprite sheet, and src is a font glyph table index. There we go, that's how we do that. Alright, so that's the whole thing actually. Furthermore, maybe when you're rendering like a bunch of text, right, when you're rendering a bunch of text, you can set the color only once. And in here, okay, that's actually very interesting. Yeah, so it's fine. So I reduced the size of this function quite well. So it became simpler, and because of that, maybe it even became faster. Who knows? So in here we set the mode of the texture only once. We iterate, and we're just looking up the existing glyphs and whatnot. So that's actually pretty cool. I really like that. So, but we have to be super careful in here, right? So the assert, maybe we can assert that C is greater or equal than ASCII display low, and it's less or equal than ASCII display high, right, and that should be it. Otherwise it's just like yeah, it's gonna fail. So here we have font, and here we're also gonna be having a font. All right, okay, so that's basically the thing I want you to do. We need to go through the compilation errors. Let's go through the compilation errors. Alright, so yeah, so this is the renderer. Oh, I need to actually specify the renderer just to be able to load the font. Renderer, there we go. So, and in here, okay, so I have to do something like SDL Rect. Alright, so color is unused parameter. Oh, this is because you didn't have to specify it in here. Yeah, so you don't need to specify it in here. Anything else? So sprite sheet. So we're using sprite sheet. And render character, we don't have to specify the color. So we're almost there. Compiler assisted refactoring. So, and in here we don't even need to do that. So we need to load just the font, right? Load font. Was it called font load? I think it was called font load from file. And this is going to be a renderer, and we're just extracting this thing from here, and that should be enough. Because send us a complete zipped code blocks installation with Allegro 4 installed because no one could install it on Windows. Nice one. Okay, so this is a font texture, and here I just provide the font. I think I have to actually pass it by a pointer. Yep, and I think I managed to do that. So it seems to be working, and we're actually caching the glyphs. And let's see if I didn't fuck it up. I fucked it up! Nice! I wonder how did I fuck it up? I have no idea. I wonder how I fucked it up, mate. How did I fuck it up? So in here, I'm just iterating through all of this ASCII stuff. Index. Oh yeah, I see. Well, that was easy. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That was freaking easy. Easy fix, easy life. All right. So now we're actually caching the glyphs, and so that means that this kind of shit has to be super fast. It must be super fast. Let's actually use like white color, right? The classical white color. And so yeah, we have a hello world. We can also make it like a little bit bigger. Right, so let's just make it a little bit bigger. So now we can try to handle the keys and maybe append something into the buffer, if you know what I'm talking about. That would be rather interesting. Right, so let me see. So where are we going to be storing the buffer? Right, so for now let's allocate it like globally. So this is going to be a buffer capacity. Buffer capacity, and so yeah, you won't be able to edit files bigger than 1 kilobyte. I'm really sorry. So if you want to be able to edit files more than 1 kilobyte, you will have to pay me. So so that's the law. That's the law. All right. So what we're gonna be doing in here? So do I need to do something like? I might as well actually keep the size of the buffer, right? So it could be something like buffer size, and it's going to be something like this. So yeah, we definitely need a render like text size, if you know what I'm talking about. Because sometimes I want to render null terminated strings, sometimes I want to render sized text, and I want to have both of the versions. So let's actually do render text sized. Right, it literally has like the same signature, right, almost the same signature, but on top of that it also accepts text size, right, text size. And I think I'm gonna just take the implementation in here and just put it here, like this. So in here I don't have to compute n, I can just use the text size, and the render text can be re-implemented in terms of text size. Right, so something like this, something like this. So we're going to provide the renderer, and then we're going to provide the font, then the text, and since we know that it's null terminated, we can do strlen text. There we go. Mods, get ready. Mods. All right, so render text. Cute mods. Yeah, cute mods. All right, so, and I want to do the size thing in here. So here we're gonna have a buffer, and then buffer size. There we go. Okay, and it doesn't compile. Buffer size. Don't I have a buffer size? Excuse me. Here it is. Here's the buffer size. What the fuck? Incompatible type. Is that because? Yeah, I forgot to put size in here. There we go. All right, seems to be working. So we need to handle the text input, right? As far as I know, SDL has a text input events. Text input. So we can utilize that. I think you have to enable them first, right? So yeah, type text input. All right, so we can try to do something like this. Case SDL text input, right? So here's the text input, and we're gonna break it in here, and maybe we can print something in here. So SDL text input. So every time you get something like this, it's gonna be SDL text input. Okay. And a boom. It works. So, and in here we literally have the text. Okay, so that's cool. So we just need to take event text, I suppose. I don't even remember. Is it just input or is it SDL event? Show me the definition of SDL event, please. Text input. Okay, so it's literally text. Okay, so I just need to append text into the buffer, right? So that's what I need to do. So does it even have this size, or is it null terminated? It's a null terminated thing. Okay, so that's cool. So that means I can do something like const size t text size, right? So it's going to be strlen. All right, so this is how much we need to append in there, and we need to check if. So if we have enough space to do that, so how much space do we even have? So buffer capacity minus buffer size. So this is how much space we have. If the text size, right, if the text size is greater than free space, right, so this is basically free space like this constant. And if the text size is greater than free space, we make the text size equal to the free space. We're not allowing to actually append more than needed. And after that we can do memcpy buffer. So this is the destination is buffer size, and the source is event text, and how much you want to copy text size. And after that we say buffer size plus equal text size. So essentially we're just, we type in and we're appending shit into the buffer. So that's precisely what we're doing. Nothing particularly special, Okay, so this doesn't even compile properly. So because this one is const, it doesn't have to be const. Sure. 2 hours and we already can type shit. Isn't that amazing? I think it's goddamn fucking amazing. Alright. So this is just the text. Input event. Do we have anything else? How do we handle like backspaces or something like that? Maybe we could try to handle the backspaces. So case SDL key down, right? So we have a case SDL key down, and then we can switch on the kind of key that was pressed. Event key key sim, I think, and then sim, and if SDL key backspace, I think it's called backspace, right? We can simply, if buffer size is greater than 0, we're just doing buffer size minus 1. There we go. So there we go. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work now? Yo! You can already backspace this shit. When did they add this syntax? It was always there. It's an empty block. Right, so essentially you can create like this nested block like that with its own code and nothing is going to be visible outside of that block. But who said that this block cannot be empty? This syntax was always there. I mean, it's just an empty scope block. Come on. Alright. So maybe we also need to keep track of the cursor, right? So this is the buffer size, and let's introduce something like a buffer cursor. Buffer cursor. There we go. So initially it's going to be a 0, but on top of that we need to be able to render this entire thing. I'm tired, chat. I've been working on this thing non-stop for 2 hours and we got something, but I'm super tired. Super tired. Maybe I need some tea. Does anyone have any tea? Super tight. Yeah. I drank mine. Coffee. Yeah, coffee would be nice, but I get really addicted to coffee really quickly, so I just try to not to do that. Miss Proper? Fuck. You drinking cold tea right now? Cold brew? Or just chilled tea? No tea drinking, same by the way. It was just like, yeah. Do you have some chocolate? You deserve it. No, I do not deserve a treat. I do not deserve anything. I'm a really bad person. Tea that's to do around for 2 hours. Okay, that's a very nice way to chill it, I suppose. I have a headache if I don't drink at least 2 coffee. Yeah, it is part of the caffeine withdrawal, actually. So headaches are syndromes of caffeine withdrawal. So I do understand that. That's why it's so difficult to ditch the coffee, because every time you try to do that, you get a massive headache, and it's just like, holy shit. So I do understand you. Right. And that's the reason why I cannot get rid of the caffeine completely and still drink tea, because like at least that helps with my headaches. I just embraced. A lot of people just embrace the addiction. And I think CGP Grey actually made a video about that addiction, right? So where he rationalized to have this addiction at all. So yeah. instant grits. Okay. Just drink coffee and that's it. Yeah, but I mean, so kind of bad for your heart, I suppose. Addiction is a fun companion. Depends on the addiction. Nicotine addiction is actually not fun, to be fair. Not fun at all. Anyways. We need to be able to render the I suppose the like background thingy. C/C++ addiction. I'm not addicted to C/C++, that's for sure. But the problem is that I don't really have that much choice when it comes to the level of control I can have in here. Did I write all this code? My god. That's a lot of 200 lines of code. 200 lines of code. I'm not addicted, that's what everyone says, cup. Yeah. Indeed. Indeed. So maybe we should treat our text editor as like a grid cell or whatnot. So because you see we're like scaling the text and shit, right? So we're just scaling the text, but maybe we should think about it in terms of like cells, right? So so this is the font, and maybe we're gonna have some sort of like a font scale, like a global font scale. And right now the font scale is around what? I think it's fine. I think it's fine. So it's around 5. Okay, so this is gonna be something like 5. Font scale. I forgot how to type in Russian layout. That's actually super easy. That's how we do that. See? Easy. You just type like this. So because of that, so this is the scale and fake Russian. Very funny. Render cursor. Right, so we're gonna have a render cursor. We have to provide the renderer, and we probably have to provide the position of that cursor, I suppose. Right, the position of that cursor is gonna be okay, so it's gonna be something like this. Renderer. We're gonna take the cursor from the global variable. Yes, we're using global variables, okay? Don't judge me. I'm only learning how to do programming, okay? So buffer cursor. All I need to do here, I need to multiply it by font width judges. Font scale. It's not font surface, but it's font scale, right? So, and this is basically the X, right? So we need to do something like SDL Rect. This is going to be something like Rect. Here we go. So this is going to be the X, and we're going to be floorfing this entire thing. So we're literally floorfing it, and then we convert it to int. Right, so convert it to it. This is going to be y. In terms of y, I think y is going to be literally 0, right? So there's no need to even do something like this. So, and width and height is going to be basically font width scale and height. Fangchi, thank you so much for 25 months, holy shit, of tier 1 subscription. I do not deserve this much of support, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, so, and after that we can try to render this entire thing, right? So it's going to be SDL2 and grep rn. So SDL, what is it? Set color, right? So let's set the color. Render draw set render draw color. Okay, so there we go. And yep. And we need to check the code. So here, by the way, I wanna use my magical macro. Right, you see how in SDL render draw color you have to pass each individual component separate. Cyberdyne, yeah, thank you so much for gifted subs. Thank you. I do not deserve this much subs. I'm a really bad person. So, but thank you so much. So look. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you. So you see, you have several components in here, but we pass the color around as this code, right? So it passes around as this code. So I like to define a pretty cool macro that accepts the code and expands it into this sort of components, right? So essentially, I want to call it something like unhex, right? So this is going to be unhex. You accept the color. And essentially, the first one has to be red. Red is the first thing. So we take the color and we shift it by 0 bytes, right? We shift it by 0 byte and we extract 0xff in here, right? And essentially, the thing we're doing in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, we are repeating this thing like 4 times, right? 4 times. 1, 2, and 3. So, and then you can quite easily just say unhex 0xff, right? So 1, 2, 3, yeah, there we go. So, and this thing will automatically just expand and you know, work for you. This is actually something that I like to do. People who watch me regularly, they know about this trick because I use it all the time. But it's just like for new people, if anyone is interested. Right, so we have a function that accepts several arguments. You can just make a macro that expands into these arguments. So it's kind of similar to C++ unpacking or something, if you think about it. All right, so that's pretty convenient. So because of that, we can just use something like uint32 color, and then I can actually do something like that. There we go. And in reality, set render draw color actually accepts 5 arguments, right? But because of this macro, we managed to compress it into 2 arguments. Not sure how readable it is, but I mean, it's quite convenient actually. Okay. So here is the rect unused variable. Okay, so that's fine. We just need to use it. So render fill rect. Chat. I have a question for you, chat. Do you feel rect? Oh, I'm sorry. Classic, am I right? Classic. Oh. Okay, go. Okay, so here's the render, and we'll probably have to provide something like this in here, so this is gonna be that. Nice one. The fuck? I think I did a fucky wacky chat. Oh, because yeah. So I used the width of the whole sprite sheet. What I should have used instead is the character, white rect, big boy cursor. Yeah, now we're talking. So interesting enough, as we append shit, I think maybe we should actually, yeah, let's actually synchronize buffer size and buffer cursor. Right, cursor equal to buffer size, and we'll see how it goes. The fuck was that? Okay, so that was bad. So it actually flew off. Look. The cursor actually literally flew off. It's just like... Yeah. Okay. I wonder what exactly happened. Oh yeah, it's the same shit all over again. Yeah. So I forgot to put a character in here. Of course. Alright, so font is just a scale. Too much acceleration, yeah. Oh, and when I do backspace, it doesn't actually, you know, perform everything appropriately. So we need to synchronize the cursor every time. Right, so it's going to be buffer size. Here's the buffer size. A buffer size. There we go. And then we can, yeah, look at that. Look at that. And it actually doesn't wrap shit around, but yeah. You cannot move this cursor around, but yeah. It's like a typewriter. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Boy. And then I can go here. That's actually pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So maybe, you know what, I actually wanna be able to control the zoom, because that's something that I do all the time with Emacs, right? I want to be able to do this kind of shit. This is cursor, by the way. It actually keeps expanding, so this is how big it is, and then I can go back. So I want to be able to do this kind of stuff. Did you see that series of books about C++ and ray tracing? Are you trying to advertise your stuff on my channel? Disgusting. Okay, let me see. So maybe we can actually pass some stuff in there. So it's gonna be something like SDLK plus. Is it like plus? But I don't quite remember. So let's just do grep. Where is SDLK? They're all located in the codes, right? So SDL. Ah, shit. Fuck. And this is gonna be plus, right? So is it called plus? There we go. So this is just SDLK plus. Sure. God. Sure. Not advertisement, by the way. Sure. Cup. SMH my age. So, and I need to check if any modifiers are actually pressed, like control or something. You know what I'm talking about. So let me try to run this entire thing. Is it running? Okay, so I can do plus, but if I do control plus, it's still okay. So this one is rather, yeah, this is the problem, I think, because it will type it instead. But god damn it, let's not do that. So you know what I want to do? I want to have a special function that sort of accepts the thing that you want to insert into the buffer. We need to have a buffer as the structure, as an entity, if you know what I'm talking about, right? So it has to be like an entity. It will have the size and the cursor and all of this stuff that needs to be done, right? All of this stuff that needs to be done, but unfortunately I'm super tired right now. So let's actually, you know what? Let's do a committee and maybe even pushy. So what do we have in here? I'm gonna do git ignore te and right. So this is gonna be something like readme text editor, and I'm just gonna do a quick start. And it's gonna be console make. It doesn't have to be -b to be fair. It doesn't have to be -b then te. Right, and the license is MIT. There we go. We're gonna be releasing that under MIT license. Git init, and then we're gonna be doing a ready, a set, a go. Ready, set, a go. And let's create a separate repo where we're gonna be pushing all of that, where we're gonna be sending all, well, I mean, I have to do it like that. There we go. So this is going to be make te text editor. This one's going to be public. Right, so I'm going to be doing it like that. Add origin URL push to the origin. Right, and I'm gonna push it right into the repo. Okay, so is it there? So the source code is available here. Go grab it. check it for yourself. So right now we have a text editor that is capable of doing what? Let's rebuild it. That's capable of doing that. And you can also backspace, but you cannot control shit. But I mean, it's just like, yeah. That's what we managed to implement in 2 hours. But unfortunately, boys and girls, it is time for me to go. Thanks everyone who's watching me right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you all, I don't know when, I don't know where. Yeah. That's it for today. Hope it was fun. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support, even though I do not deserve it. Thank you everyone. Love you all. Mwah.